Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Blades of Roses, a show of swashbuckling adventure, suspicious intrigue, and more requests to drink water than you would think, but it's not a kink thing. We just are really worried about your hydration. I'm Dan McCurdy. You can find me at RevDMC247 on TikTok, and I will be your storyteller this evening, and these are my amazing players, starting with Marquis.
Hello, everyone. I am Marquis at Marquis1305, and any social that you're allowed to find me on. I will be playing Masara O'Toole, who did not have a very big revelation last episode. We're not talking about that right now. Kristoff, your turn.
I am Sea Cow Explosion, same name on whatever socials I have. I am playing Kristoff, and Kristoff definitely didn't have some anger issues last session. Smoke.
I am salty. I'm salty. I'm also the saltiest unicorn on TikTok and the other medias. And I am playing Smoke, sea captain, transportation for this motley crew, and wondering why they don't believe in the Fae when they have a Fae King. Chuck?
That's a really good question. That's a very hello, hi. I am Took, I guess. You can find me on every social media at Took, I guess, especially here on the Twitch. And I am playing the wonderful, thieving, very freaked out and panic-induced blood witch, Juniper Gagnon. Cass.
Hi, I'm Nikki, aka Crafty Mirage on all socials, and I will be playing Lucrezia Casilda de Marquez, aka Cass, the vagabundo prospect who is carrying a crown and she has no idea where she's going to hide it.
All right. So last we were with our heroes, they had quite an adventure. They were just, hanging out, minding their own business, not causing any trouble at all, or at least Cass wasn't, until all of the sudden a certain Inishmore princess just showed up at her house. This led to a whole lot of interesting revelations from the parties, but before they could get too into the drama and the trauma with each other, they discovered that there was a problem. They found a member of Los Vagobundos, the revolutionaries or terrorists, depending on who you ask, who was running away from the town guard. They were able to save him from being arrested, or rather Cass and Juniper were. The others didn't care particularly all of that much, and Masara threw a party. But when they all came together, they discovered that the crown of good King Sandoval that had been hidden away in the palace in the capital of San Cristobal had been discovered by the Inquisition of the Vatican Church and was going to be taken to the Vatican Island. And if it got there, it would probably never be seen again, as it played such an important role in validating the rule of the king. And so the party on the recently gained Cerulean tides, owned by our Captain Smoke, set out in pursuit, and showing that it was not just a quick ship, but had a very competent captain, the crew managed to chase down the Inquisition caravan that had been discovered with information that Cass found from her father, the Inquisitor of San Juan's office. They were able to chase down the caravan, but when they got there, they found they weren't the only ones in pursuit of at least a crown. As they got close, they met Mad Jack, the O'Bannon, king of Inishmore, and more than a little bit fey. He was easily handling some guards, complaining that the fight wasn't all that tough, and then he agreed to help them, at first in a fight, but then to come up with a sort of solution that would not involve any necessary additional death. The plan was cut. The crown was regained by the party, though they then discovered that it wasn't just any crown. It was made of Dracheneisen, the mysterious material that can no longer be made, and its artifacts are so important. This freaked out Kristoff more than a little bit, and they received a warning from the O'Bannon saying that crown cannot go on just any head, and they needed to be careful. He then took off. They were in possession of the crown, and they went back to the Cerulean tides, telling it to turn around. They had to get back to San Juan, which was the only place where Cass has any connections to Los Vagobundos, to find out what is to be done with the crown of good King Sandoval. And so we begin. the sound of water splashing up, wind blowing, cool, easy, and a dull light, red, fills the sky, illuminates the water. Juniper. You walk on what appears to be waves of blood in a space you've always known. You're hard-pressed to ever think of a time when you did not know about the in-between. This weird place that you could go to whenever you chose, like a special hideaway. Sure, you weren't supposed to go there unless you'd made very specific preparations, but it was always comfort there, and all you had to do was bleed, and you've learned blood is cheap. And so there you are, walking through the red, through the waves, through the wind. And you hear a voice. Juniper? Junie, where are you? You know you're not supposed to be here alone. The voice of your mother.
No. No.
Junie?
No.
There you are. And you can't help it. You turn around, and there she is. Wearing long, soft satin robes, colored golden. Long dreads going down past her waist, tied back. Beautiful jewelry, rings on every finger. The chains from the ears to the nose to the lips, down into the robes itself. And those eyes, those beautiful emerald eyes. As she walks forward and crouches down in front of you. What are you doing here all alone?
I'm not alone. Wait, what?
And your voice is lighter than you're used to. And you look down at your hands and they're smaller than they've been. They're not as scarred. There's some scars. You always need blood for the magic that you do, that they teach you. But where you've gotten sort of rough with it lately, you just do what you need to do and go. Right now they're almost meticulously placed where they will hurt the least and where they'll heal the easiest. And you look down at yourself in the sort of clothes that you wore all the time when you were a boy. What did I tell you about coming here alone, Juniper?
Not to do it.
I understand. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Were you hiding?
No.
Did you take something? Something you couldn't have taken?
I didn't take anything, Mama. Fine. You pull
and
out
she
whatever.
reaches down to a bag that's tied on your belt. And she pulls out and holds up the crown of Castille.
Shit.
And what is this? Who does this belong to?
I don't. No, I don't know. What?
I think it might be dangerous. I mean, look at it. And as she draws your attention, you see her hand catching fire. Cracks going along the skin as the fire and burn start spreading until her entire hand is consumed and is almost just bone, and the cracks and the fire just start spreading down her arm and disappearing into the sleeves of her robe. This could hurt someone, Juni. You have to be careful.
Okay.
Do you have a mark to get back? And the fire starts spreading up her neck and consuming her face and coming out of her nostrils.
Immediately starts to run. Not staying there for that.
Port back, Juni. You cannot stay here without a mark. You must port back. The dreads are now burning like a torch as all of her just starts collapsing into ash, and the crown doesn't move. As if it is what is supporting the arm, not the other way around. Port back! Juniper, port back!
He's oh god. No, he's running.
Juni, you must use the portals.
Now he's putting his hands over his ears.
And as you clap your hands to your ears, you come to on a cot in the Cerulean Tides. Nearby, in another cot, you can see Kristoff lying quietly, though, as someone who takes some professional pride in knowing when someone else is asleep or awake, you've never really been able to tell with him. And you look around. All seems quiet. You can hear the sounds of the crew that are awake up above.
Nah, he's obviously he wakes up just he's gonna get up and go above deck.
You get up and you're kind of getting yourself situated as you're getting out of bed, and as you put your foot down, you feel something cold and metal against your foot. The ring fell loose in the night and is just down there on the deck.
He'll pick the ring up that's on the chain and kind of look at it and thinks for a moment. Has he ever put the ring on?
Up to you.
I'm gonna say no.
All right.
Dad was similar to him. Didn't want to accidentally, unsmudge something. I guess I don't know. But he'll just put it back on and just go above deck.
So he's putting the ring on, or he's putting the chain on?
Just the chain. He's not putting it on his finger. No.
You walk up to deck and you see the sun just beginning to crest over the water at dawn, as in the distance, kind of peering ahead, you see the lights of San Juan approaching. Captain Smoke, your new ship is fast. I mean, yeah, you have all of the winds, like the weather coming back was essentially perfect. Whereas going out, everything was against you. Coming back, everything was for you. And this is incredible. Like, it can't carry much, but man, it gets there fast.
It just means we need to find more valuable cargo to transport.
Jonathan walks up to you. Looks like going to be a beautiful morning, Captain.
That it is. How's everybody been handling the voyage?
It's almost like baby's first ship, man, meaning no offense. She's a good girl. She is kind to those who are learning, so long as they don't give her too much lip.
As any first ship should. Any of them you think won't make it?
To be honest, I don't know if Jessa, the cook... Jessa, I think, might just be out here for curiosity's sake. I don't know if she's truly a sailor or not, but could surprise me. I think she could make it. I just think she'll find something she likes better in time. Proper kitchen around her rather than a galley.
I think she just wanted something new.
You're not wrong.
Good food for a short time, at least.
Very much so. Between what you all brought on board and how she can handle it. Almost don't mind eating on a ship. Bit of a disappointment we didn't get all the way to a port, though you say it's important to get back, I believe you. You thinking we'd be putting out again pretty soon after, or...?
Likely. I would ready the ship as soon as we set, so that we can cast off as quickly as possible.
Ship like this, ready to go at a moment's notice, is half of what people pay for.
Exactly. And we have somebody who pays well.
We do indeed. Where'd you find an actual princess, man?
She found me, and I can't get rid of her.
Huh.
So, might as well. In any case.
Decent boardmaster, though. I saw her going through her steps.
Oh,
Right.
amazing.
I imagine the blade's good at finding the flesh. Wouldn't knock anyone overboard, but stick them full of holes enough, eventually they fall down, I bet.
I'm not worried about the blade knocking them overboard. She'd likely do it.
Huh? Little wisp of a girl like that.
Mm.
All right. You know your stuff with the blade, too, so I'll believe you.
As a heads up, I'm not going to be pulling any more punches when it comes to the creatures we might run into.
They didn't believe in sirens.
You didn't see what we saw. So, in any case, we'll make sure that we prepare them for anything else that comes forward.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Plenty of bedtime stories for them. That'll get them good and prepped.
Very true. I'm sure you have a few of your own.
A few, aye. Let's just say... it's not always the worst thing to listen to a siren.
Quite a few trips back and forth between here and Labuka. You see a lot of things. In any case, I'm gonna...
Of course, them girls is from Labuka. They don't do you the courtesy of being half fish to make you worry about it.
I don't need Cass's image in my head anymore. I'm gonna go below decks. You've got this here.
I'm on top of it.
Start
I
making
imagine-
everyone awake.
We'll be docked in an hour easy.
I'll go below deck and start knocking on the few doors and pushing on the few peoples.
You walk down and you bump into Juniper, who is not an early riser in your general notice.
Should I be worried?
No. Not at all. I need some. What's that thing that regular people in the morning call air?
So we're talking mild level of concern. You might tell me, you might not. Okay, noted. And I'm just going to let him continue.
All right.
He's going to put on a big smile. And then as soon as he turns, he's like...
I'll go wake up Kristoff because he'd be in the outside area.
Yep, you're able to go knock on the room that he's been sharing with Junie. And was Kristoff asleep when Junie woke up?
No. When Smoke comes to knock on the door, I'm already putting my boots on, open it up, look down the hallway, see if Junie's still within sight.
He's gone up.
Bump into Juniper on your way down?
Yeah. Mid-level concern?
Nightmare. Hasn't been the nightmare type for as long as I've had to bunk with him, but I'd say mid-level.
Gonna have to watch for those. There are reasons why people have dreams.
Yeah, there's reasons people have nightmares too. Unfortunately, it's usually the being awake part that causes them when you're asleep.
Right.
Keep an eye on them, though. You got enough to worry about with this ship. I can watch the kid.
Thank you. I'm gonna go wake up the ladies. Make sure that they have plenty of time to get ready before we disembark.
So, Cass and Mez, both of you used to a bit more of a level of luxury than can be afforded, even in the very well-appointed cabin that the finest cabin that Mez's money could buy in the time that she had available. How have you both been sleeping?
I feel like Cass would have not had an easy time sleeping, not because of the bed, but because of the ship itself. Like, she's not used to the motions and, like, the sound of the waves. While some people would find it soothing white noise, it kept waking her up. I feel like she would have just woken up early and just said, oh well, and just kind of just sat in bed, just staring at the crown.
Mez didn't sleep. So they're just both sitting in their respective beds as Mez is looking at this stupid bundle of wildflowers and not touching it. Specifically heather flowers. And she's not touching it. She's just sitting there staring at it.
Did you sleep in my bed last night? Or
No.
does it sit in my bed?
No. She's just like in the very corner of her bed. Like, as far as physically possible while still not encroaching your space.
Are you okay? Are you just going to stare at it the whole time?
I'm not certain what else I should be doing with it.
Well, you could move them so that way you can at least have more room to sit down.
I'm not certain I want to be touching it either. It came with a note from him. Not certain how he got on here to put him there in the first place.
And I'm not certain how he whispered in my ear without actually being there.
Yep, no, not certain I want to be considering that either.
Is he magic?
Well, the rumor is he's half fae.
Okay.
The rumor is also that he's actually immortal.
Okay.
That has a bit of hold in, considering that he keeps coming back to reclaim the throne. Or at least someone with the same name and the same description in the history books.
Okay. And then he also said that this couldn't be put on the wrong person's head. And I don't know what that means.
Actually, in point of fact, there was always the legend that only the real king of Castille could wear the crown.
Great, we have the Excalibur of crowns.
The legends are wildly varied as to why. Apparently no one has dared try in enough time that there isn't like a set record. Just apparently there was even one pretender to the throne who ultimately was outed as a pretender because they never dared put it on. So it's kind of entrenched in Castilian lore.
I mean, it's good King Sandoval's crown. He should be the one to wear it, right?
So how are we getting it to him?
Don't know. They told me to get it, and then I got it, and then they didn't tell me what to do afterwards, so that's why we're going back.
It seems like a bit of an oversight.
They didn't tell me anything for 2 years because they said I was still on probation.
I didn't know anything.
See?
Come in.
Ladies, apparently sleep was light for multiple people.
Something.
Smoke, as you look in, you see apparently a very tired-looking Mez, only slightly less tired-looking Cass, and a very pretty little bundle of pink heather flowers on the edge of Mez's bed, and she is as far away from them on the bed as she can be.
I'm guessing that you gave the flowers your bed for the evening.
That's entirely what happened. Yes.
She was already awake when I woke up.
Mm-hmm. Would you like me to take the flowers?
No, you can't be touching them.
She wouldn't let me touch them either.
Mm.
Do you have someone you don't like on the ship? Maybe they can touch them.
No, they are a gift. I can't be giving them away to anyone. I will have to be touching them eventually. I just need to work up to that point.
And we like the people on our ship right now.
Hi.
Why? Why is them being a gift the problem?
Growing up in the house that you had, did you have a what do they call them? A nanny? Or someone who maybe told you stories when you were a child?
I got a lot of stories from my papi, and they were a lot of stories that Vaticine approved.
That's right, Inquisitor. Let's just say that the Fae are very fickle creatures, and deals made with said Fae are very tricky things as well.
Okay. So like a verbal contract with no actual definition on it, and then they can probably just like do whatever they want with whatever it is you may have promised them, but then they can twist your words or something.
The only thing I promised was a favor.
That's open-ended.
That
seems like from what Smoke is saying, that seems like that was the wrong move.
He's also my king. There's certain honor that you have to uphold to that sort of thing, and hospitality and things.
Weren't even in your own land.
But is he a good king? That's the real question, because if he's a bad king, he could use this power. He can use his power for bad.
Well, you see, he's a very good king, except for when he abandons the country because he gets bored. That
doesn't sound like a good king.
Well. It's complicated. The entire thing is complicated.
Nobody should touch those flowers but her because they were a gift. That crown, on the other hand, gonna have to find somewhere to hide that.
We talked about it yesterday.
It's been
yes.
Yeah. about 24 hours.
We talked about it yesterday. I thought I was going to hide it at my house because that's the last place it'd look.
Yeah, I can see that. There's also the chance that it could be seen. Just be very careful with it. The other places is maybe not let it leave the ship. It can get locked here. And then nobody has a chance of seeing it, knowing that we have it.
I mean, yeah, we could do that.
And then you have your contacts. You can go out, figure all that out, and we can figure out where to go next. Jonathan's already going to prepare the ship so that we can leave at a moment's notice as soon as we dock.
Okay.
Are we going to be needing a cover for you?
Oh, so you know how you may have written to the guard that one night, my father that one night to tell him about the zombie thing?
Aye.
Well, I left a letter for my mother saying that I was going to be your handmaid, so now we're even.
I mean, we can always
your
arrange.
lady's maid or whatever it is.
You'd be a lady in waiting because you're a bit above what Kara station is as a lady's maid.
I put the right thing on paper. I just don't care about it right now.
So perhaps we arrange some invitations to other locations so there's a reason that we're actually out and about.
That would work. If she thinks that I'm going out with the understanding that I am going out to meet suitors, she might not even question it.
Aye. Depending on where we're going, Smoke, do you think you can reach out to some of your contacts or anything?
Depends on what we're looking for. I've been to quite a few ports, so.
We're going to be making use of my name a little bit in order to hide wherever Cass is going.
Gotcha.
Either purchasing or flouting about. I'll see if there are any duels that I can take up in other areas out near where we want to be going.
Honestly, my mother won't even question it if I say I'm going with a princess. My father.
Aye, but if your father does question it, then we need to have proof that you were there. You need to be spotted.
Very true. Ugh, I have to pack a dress.
You might have to pack more than that.
In any case, final decision. Crowns are royal things, and you two are the royalty. So
not royalty.
It's
you the other option that might be safer. I'm gonna go back to the top.
Well,
we have about an hour until port. You have about that much time to decide what you want to do next.
And I got a question.
Yep.
Now, I've never actually been on a boat much. I think I've been on a boat like maybe once in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing up.
Over the side.
Over the side? Okay. Because I was like, I don't want it to like, you know.
Florida girl got you. I get seasick religiously.
Okay, so
after... there is still going to be the possibility of sprayback.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's
you don't want to do it into the wind.
Don't do it into the
wind. Face open from the wind.
No, so he'll just kind of walk up to Jonathan and go, I need to wear.
And he just seen that look off the back.
Yeah, and he'll run and throw up. And Junie actually went to a very, very good school, actually. So he's actually more smart than people think he is. The Crown. Exactly. What is the history with like mages with it? Like, was it made to fuck up mages? Like, what is the problem with that thing?
For all of your learning and everything, particularly as it applied to your gift, there have been legends of items that could not be traced with sorcery. often made of Draconism. You never heard any that indicated that the crown of, like, most people have heard that the crown of Castille can only be worn by the rightful king. You always thought that was propaganda.
Right.
Because Montaigne tends to think that the Castilian royalty is quaint. So they the idea of an object interfering with your porting magic in that way, you had the right reaction. It is deeply unsettling. But if it can't be tracked, if it can't be tracked with magic, that same property might be what made it difficult to port with.
Because now he's kind of thinking, it's been a long time, and I think from just what I've been hearing, that there's been any type of king or queen that's worn the thing.
No, we're probably only a few years away from when the last king Sandoval died, and he did wear his crown.
Okay.
But when the current king was taken to the Vatican Island about 2 years ago, he did not have his crown with him, and it had been missing in that time. So this crown has not been missing for a particularly long period of time. It was hidden when he was taken into Castille, and Junie probably would not even have been aware that it was missing, because Castilian politics, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. But now my question is, if he was a magic man himself and the crown was to nerf him, so Juniper is just sitting there like, why the fuck would anybody make this?
It sure nerfed you.
Yes.
Yeah, you would never want to wear that crown.
Hell no. Unless.
And the other thing is, I mean, every nationality in Thea has a magic specific to their lands, except apparently Castille. Which is very convenient for the home of the Vatican Church, and you've always kind of wondered, what are they hiding? Because are they actually the special non-magic snowflakes? Or...
Oh, no.
When
he's going to be back there for a while.
the next time Junie's head comes up from relieving, he will discover that Kristoff is kneeling on the rail of the ship next to him.
You didn't see that, did you?
Everyone on the ship saw that. I'm pretty sure they heard it below deck.
Oh.
If it happens to some people, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Actually, at this moment, Jessa, the cook, comes out, walks up and says, actually, if you're going to continue doing that, we're right above the galley. If you could do it where I'm not preparing food, I would...
Yeah. No.
Just it didn't get on anything, but
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not. Okay.
Move it over to the side and just try to time it with the ups and downs of the ship. You don't want anything coming out when the ship is bouncing up.
I think I'm okay. It's just I'm not feeling I don't know.
You don't need to say anything unless you want to say something about it. And I'm just going to give him that I know look, but I'm not going to say anything about it. And then leave Junie be.
Junie B. So. Then.
As the ship makes its turn, Jonathan expertly guiding it. He has navigated the ports of San Juan so many times. When smoke comes back up, he offers if you want command of the con again, or if you want him to just bring it in.
he can just bring it in. I'm just going to be checking little things, watching the shores, all that kind of that. Mothering the ship itself type thing. Tightening stuff, just making sure everything's ready.
It's got an energy to it, just as you're touching different things, like almost an electricity to it. Like she's gone fast, and her sails have been brought down to slow down for the actual trip into the port, and it's like a horse that just wants to run. Like it just she's got a twitchy energy to her that you're noticing just as you run your hands along the deck. Mez and Cass, have any decisions been made?
Just royals doing royal things.
I'm noble, not royal. What do you think? What do you think?
I think
you're the actual princess. What do you think?
I think that if they've got smugglers' holes here, I'm fairly certain, considering the fact that they were at a smuggler's cove, Smoke could tell us if they've got smugglers' bolts. If we can hide it away in the ship and not bring it on shore.
It would be safer.
I know you don't want to part with it. I know you're concerned.
It's my responsibility. They asked me to do this. But I don't know where they are, so I have to hide it until they gets in contact with Saber.
How quickly can you be doing that?
I don't know. I just have to find him. Did I even see Saber's face?
Yeah, you saw his face. He was not masked when you had the conversation with him.
You don't let her set you right to specific places?
No paper trail.
There are dead drops that you can use.
I just have dead drops, but I'm not going to dead drop this.
No, we're not dead dropping that. Are you able to dead drop a note saying you need to meet? Is there a code that you use to make it urgent? Are there markings that you use?
I could figure something out. I'll figure something out, but for now, I guess we can just leave it here.
And then how are we to be explaining that you're coming back into the city when we are meant to be having you out of the city?
I just could not go home.
And if you're spotted by any of the guards...
Okay, so, I made this while I was in the crow's nest last night. I can just put it on. It's a hood, a scarf.
As someone who gets away with the fact that I look like a boy when I don't look like a boy, it'll do.
Okay.
I just keep that over your face. If anyone asks, we turned about and I was missing one of my favorite gowns.
Okay. Princess can't go anywhere without her favorite gown, apparently.
If I need to play to that part, I can play to that part. I will hate every moment of it, and we'll discuss it later.
Trust me, I'm going to hate it too.
All right. First things first. That crown needs to stay in here.
Okay.
None of the crew can be finding it.
Nope.
We need to talk to Smoke and the others and see if there's a bolt or anything like that we can use.
Okay.
The only reason I know these words is because of Leon.
Isn't that your friend you told me about?
The whore. Well, not the whore, but the one who sleeps with whores.
I didn't want to say it because I don't say those words.
I'll say it for you.
Thank you.
The whore. All right. Let's be off.
What?
We're starting the counter.
The counter, yeah, okay, yeah, we're putting the counter, don't worry.
All right, so we're going to hide this crown amongst the belongings. Miss Sarah is touching the bouquet.
All right, you reach out, and as you pick up the bouquet, you can't help but notice the flower petals still have morning dew on them. And as you pick it up, and they kind of go down, and I mean, it's heather. It's a very simple pink flower, but it's immaculately beautiful in its way.
We're just going to hold on to this and not think about it, and we're going up to speak to Smoke and the others.
But yeah, nothing explodes when you pick them up. Just pretty flowers.
We're going to see how long it takes to dry these out, and we're just going to continue moving.
What if they never dry out?
I don't want to consider that possibility.
Cass just wraps the crocheted hood around her head.
As you two come up, Sans Crown, the boat has pulled up to a temporary dock where the dock master comes up. Why, Captain?
Aye.
How long's your stay?
Maybe 3 days. Longest. We're here more to pick up a few things and then head back out.
All right. And he gives you instructions to what dock, exchanges the appropriate fees and everything. As he is doing so, a member of the Inquisitors steps up to the boat. Moment of your time. Apologies, Captain. Have you taken on any new crew recently?
Most of my crew I've hired a few weeks ago. It's all brand new.
Where'd you hire them, if you don't mind me asking?
Here.
Okay. Well, that helps. And he steps back and he looks at the register. Oh, you were out just a couple of days ago, a few days.
Some training sailing to make sure that they're good for the longer voyages.
Any Montanians in your number?
Not that I know of. I mean, I've got a diverse crew.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. I'm pretty sure I know your answer, but I have to ask. Have you seen any blood magic?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Be safe. And if you see anything particularly blood magic, please be sure to report it to the nearest guard or an inquisitor. Have a good day. And he steps off and goes off to question the next ship.
How many people do you think actually just say, yeah, I saw blood magic?
Of a flag Jonathan after he's out of earshot. Be like, can you warn Junie to stay below decks right now?
Sure. Jonathan will walk up and kind of pat Junie. He's like, Customs is asking about Montanians. You might need to stay below decks until you're ready to disembark.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
blood mages, like whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Go down below deck and just kind of sit there for like a while and just look at the ring constantly.
Ship settles in and finally manages to tie up in its dock. You got a good one. Not too far from road access. You could actually get to the base of Disarena pretty quickly from here.
Wonderful. I don't have a need to leave the ship at this moment. I'm going to find the ladies. And what is the decision?
You are muted.
We're going to keep the crown here.
The
Item.
cargo.
We're going to keep.
I'm not good at this.
You are. Do you have any
I have
lock boxes?
the captain's cabin. It has the best locks on the ship.
Aye.
The
And,
cargo is in.
I can
armor.
find it.
Okay.
Pretty flowers. Do you need some ribbon to tie it up above your bed?
I might.
I'll see if I have some of that too in the cabin.
I'm going to have to find something to do with them. They're still dew fresh.
So magical.
But yeah, Smoke, you would know nothing kills, particularly like wildflowers, like salt air.
Oh, I know that's Faye touched and just needling it every chance I get. I will go below decks and go and search around until I find and put it into a bag and get it into the captain's cabin. The couple of weeks that we've had this place, I know like on the first night we were talking about finding one or two of those little holes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I would have found a few other like spots in the cabin.
So yeah, with the way your cabin is set up, it looks like it's entirely flush with the outer hull of the ship. However, because of all the sensitive documents and stuff that often live in captains' cabins, there is an extra layer of insulation to try to prevent as much damage, and that has ended up creating a number of very helpful little hidey holes in what would a random person who doesn't really know ships would assume was just the outer hull. And so you have a few places. Again, this ship was not built, you couldn't keep tons of storage.
Come
but
closer, Dan.
small items, easy.
I'm closer.
But small items,
There you go.
easy.
Okay. So I will find probably the more obscure of them. And if any of them were slightly deep or anything, I'd probably have like an extra board so that I could put it in, put something else down, then put something innocuous on top of it, like a couple of gold coins or something.
Absolutely.
Then that way, if anybody does find it, oh, look, there's a few coins. Swipe and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. And as you place it in, you put it down, and I think this is your first time touching it. And it just feels weird. Like the metal of the crown, you were expecting it just to feel like wrought iron or something like that. But it's light and it's strong, and when you put it down, it doesn't have that ringing noise that you're used to with that kind of metal. It's almost more like a ceramic as you set it in, and there's just, you just have this feeling about it like it's watching you almost as you kind of set it away and then cover it and seal it.
What in the devil, Jonas Barnacles, is that? Nope. We are going to leave that in there. I'm not going back near it until we have to get it out.
And you are able to set it in, close it up, step away. Nothing seems to happen.
Hopefully it doesn't appear in random places like the mythical flowers.
All right. Those who are going aboard are able to go aboard. Ashore.
Sure.
Those who are going to disembark and go ashore are able to do so.
I'm disembarking. Throwing the hood up.
Going to want to have a quick word with Smoke before making that choice.
Go ahead.
I'll probably still be in my cabin because that's where I'm going to be plotting and thinking about where we're going to end up going next. Seeing resupply.
So, Captain, question.
Answers.
We're keeping that thing on board. What do you suppose the chances are that the Inquisition doesn't have some inkling that this comes back to us?
Well, there are some pretty good disguises. There was undead. I really don't think anyone's going to catch anything there. I just think we need to leave port as quickly as possible, and that's going to rely on Los Vagobundos.
Now, for whatever reason, they got their eye on Junie. They've got a good look at me, if nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
What about a decoy?
As in, send them off in the wrong direction after a horrible blood mage that's going to take out the entire city with his corrupting magic.
Oh, no, that sounds a bit excessive. I was mostly just thinking maybe we need to see if somebody has their eye on us. So what I'm thinking is the not so discreet individual acts not so discreetly, but like they're supposed to be, to go make some sort of drop, maybe a ways out of town if necessary, and somebody with that skill set keeps an eye on anybody that might be keeping an eye on me to see if we're suspects.
Sounds like a wonderful plan.
All right. I don't know who that somebody to keep an eye on things is. And I do believe the girls are tending to their own business.
If you're doing it at night, the sun's rising, so right now is probably not the best time. Junie could stay to the shadows. Otherwise, his troop of boys are here in town. They might be able to help keep an eye from the corners and the roofs.
That is a good idea. I'll talk to Junie first, make sure that he's okay with it, but good idea.
There's 3 of them, too. So
With that, I'll actually head down below deck to talk to Junie before anything else. Where are you hanging out right now?
He's currently looking at a ring that you have never seen.
And I imagine we've
Spinning a bit.
had to share a bunk once or twice.
Yeah.
But deliberately not asking unless it is offered. It is acknowledging it and saying nothing.
Okay.
If you're up for it, we got a bit of skullduggery that might be up your alley.
It's better than, touching things I don't want to touch, and also not being on a ship that makes me sick. So yeah, I'm cool with that 100%.
We don't know if they suspect us of more than what's currently going on.
All right.
I'm gonna try to sneak my way out of town to see if anybody follows me. I need somebody who actually knows how to do that sort of thing to keep an eye out if there's actually anybody trying to follow me. And Smoke had the idea that your triplets might be a good fit for helping out with that.
My triplets. Never say that again.
It's guaranteed I will say that every chance I get.
Yeah, I can. They're really good at. Well, I wouldn't call myself a master thief, but if I had to give them a grade, B-. So they're not terrible. So
I'm pretty sure I would have failed that course, so it's better than me.
well, they're good at being conspicuous and looking like kids who are up to no good and just around. So I feel like them following you to maybe steal from you would make sense to the guards. They usually go easy on them. So
All right. Well, I guess we'll be heading out around night. I'm gonna go ashore and make sure that I'm obvious.
yeah.
And I will count on you and your boys to be where it is you're needed, because I'm probably not going to notice if you're doing your job right.
Yeah.
But before I go, just one thing.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more bad than most, and I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't do good keeping it in there forever.
Yeah.
Just gonna wave a hand. The don't need to say anything.
No, it's well, it's not like I'm hiding anything anymore.
But Junie is not gregarious when it comes to maintaining face, which that I know.
When it comes to you guys, I'm not necessarily. I can easily tell when someone's lying to me, when I need to lie, when I need to run, when I need to hide. But I don't know. You guys are like a what's the word? A rightful weakness that I'm happy to have. Does that make sense? I don't know if
that is actually very touching. That would get a very genuine, warm response.
So I don't know. I've been thinking that if anything, I should probably start trusting people. So I not be a big dude with a large sword that can heal wounds but also cut a body in half, which is, by the way, absolutely fucking terrifying to watch you do. I'm just putting it out there.
I think that was a compliment, so I will take it.
I don't know. And he's like twirling the ring in his finger. I think it's time for me to stop being scared of the unknown.
There's nothing wrong with being scared of the unknown. It's staying away from it. If it stays unknown, that's the problem.
That is definitely the problem. And then with that, he'll put the ring on and flinch. Just a tiny bit.
Nothing happens.
Oh, fucking thing. Me and Junie did that. Yeah. Okay. And then he'll take the ring off because he knows that it's like the telltale that he's Montanian with it, because it's like the gilded ring, right? If my notes are correct. Wow.
I hate to break up this wonderful moment, but you need to say that out loud.
Holy shit.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm over here fighting hiccups the whole time, and I couldn't help it. I just kicked it.
You better own that pun.
Just so
Own the
everyone
pun.
knows.
Own the pun.
Because,
So in our chat,
yeah,
Smoke just said,
she's showing the ring to the Isengard.
God damn it.
Do, 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 do.
Don't make Nick proud.
yep,
On that note, I guess Kristoff will take his leave.
moment thoroughly over.
It's the moment thoroughly over.
But he knows that like it's a like Montanian like telltale sign, right? If he wears that ring.
No, there's plenty of jewelry and stuff around here. Most people don't immediately clock you as from Montaigne.
Okay.
Some people who know what to look for do, but you're not like the O'Bannon did. There's some other people who, if they hear you talk, like occasionally your accent will slip, but you're not like walking around with a big sign, "I am clearly from Montaigne" on you.
Okay, he'll keep it on then, and just for good measure, nick a finger and just put a blood mark on it.
You
just
just do that,
Yeah.
and the blood touches, and it's there like normal, but you're used to a kind of magnetism to it when you mark something that way, and it doesn't take. It's nothing like what happened with the crown where it boiled off, and you've always been able to detect this ring.
Mhm.
You used it. You've been able to port to it, but the additional mark, it's like nothing happens.
Huh. Nope. Not done with that. and follow Kristoff to go
It
find
feels
him.
similar, like because you need to bleed to do it.
Yeah.
It's rare that you double mark something. It feels like you were trying to double mark something.
Oh, okay. But I'd never marked.
You've always been able to detect this ring. You've always been able to port to it. In fact, you learned a lot of those skills with this ring.
I am so confused.
The ring
I'm
was
gonna go
forged
read.
with your blood.
Oh! Oh. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, that's sad. Sorry. Revelation here. Oh, no. Oh, that makes me sad. Papa. Anyway. The fuck?
All right, so who's going where?
Are we going together? Are we going together, Mez?
I assume we're going together,
All right. We're going to go to the dead drop that I know that I have used in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep my hood up. I'm wearing my regular street clothes.
What note are you going to leave at the dead drop?
It's just a message, a simple message saying that I'm back. Find me at the docks. And then I figured they would know my handwriting by this point. I don't even sign it with an initial or anything. I just leave it at the dead drop.
So you actually have a sequence of dead drops, so you're not going to the same place over and over again. You go based on a fairly complicated pattern, like on this day, under this circumstance, you do this. You're pretty sure you know where the drop is supposed to go based on memory alone, because years of waiting to be activated, you've spent a lot of time looking at everything Los Vagobundos gave you. That said, it's still a bit of a guess. So if you're just going off of memory, you're taking a risk. If you go home and actually look at the paperwork, you'll know exactly. It's up to you.
I'm going to take the risk. I've been studying this stuff, and I don't want to go home.
So in that case, I'm going to want you to roll your wits and scholarship.
Okay. And because it's
there are, narrowing it down, there are 4 different dead drops it could be. For every race, you can eliminate one.
Oh. Just 2, with 1 left over.
All right. Do you want to sell that?
What happens if I sell it again?
You get a hero point, and I get a danger point.
Sure.
It's a 50-50 shot if it's today's dead drop.
Okay. I'll set it.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Lucky penny go.
Okay.
Couldn't I just also leave another note at the other dead drop? It's a 50-50 shot.
You could, but then you would be visiting 2 dead drops on the same day.
Yeah, that's true.
So, we're not certain that this is the proper one, right?
Yeah.
I have some things I need to be doing, and I tend to gather notice when I'm doing these sorts of things.
I hadn't noticed.
The sass today.
I'm
The thing that I intend to be doing, might it draw the attention of your saber friend?
All right, I get what they're saying. I'll walk around with you then.
You do not need to be walking everywhere. You don't
Oh, you won't see me.
That's the way. I need to find something to be doing with this. So
I'm just gonna follow her on the rooftops.
Have some shops to be going to draw attention to the fact that I am again spending money and let the word spread. Although my funds are getting more and more limited as we have not generated income at this point.
Nope.
So, Cass, while you are running around, you are attempting. Are you primarily? Is the most of your effort going to not being seen or to moving quickly on the rooftops? What's the emphasis?
Moving quickly on the rooftops.
Okay.
Most people don't tend to look up.
All right, so go ahead and give me your finesse and athletics. You've got, I'm going to say 2 risks of wounds just from occasionally slipping,
Parkour.
and 2 risks of potentially being spotted. And don't forget an additional die for flair.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to re-roll one of my dice because I've got 3 in athletics. And that is 4 races.
All right. So do you want to take a wound or do you want to be spotted at some point while you're doing what you're doing?
I'll take a wound.
Okay. Take that wound. Where are we heading, Mez? While you're being shadowed from the rooftops in a very Assassin's Creed like.
In a very Assassin's Creed way. Masara is first going to go to the apothecary.
Mm-hmm.
Is second going to apparently buy some frickin' ribbon.
Frickin' ribbon is extra.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm certain I have at least that much coin.
Yeah, you're not like.
I'm not broke.
You're not broke.
It's just lower than I'm used to.
You have spending money. You don't have investment money right now. Let's put it like
that. No, we're not displaying it. We are not displaying it. That is not what's happening here.
All right, so you go into the apothecary and he looks up. He's heard of you, but you haven't done a ton of business with him yet. And so he comes up. It's like, Miss, what can I get for you?
I'm looking to take a few of this bundle and be turning it into fragrances or oils or something of the like.
Heather, is there any special property?
Just for the scent. Fond of it. Reminds me of home.
All right. And he leans forward and holds out a hand for it.
And she takes like half the bundle.
Mm-hmm. Where on earth did you find heather this fresh? I'm not aware of any of it growing near here, and we're definitely not near its blooming season.
Was a gift. Not certain in the how or the why.
All right. Should be simple enough. And he separates some out. Very carefully cuts out the petals. Gets a little bit of the zest off of the very fresh stem into it. Takes the petals, puts it all, gets mortar and pestle, grinds it up good. And soon he has a little vial for you with essence of heather, I guess.
Essence of heather. Wonderful. And she'll accept it and pass over the coin. And speaking of, is there medicinal supplies? I'm not certain what kind, just a pack or something of the basics that I can use to restock.
Oh, right. And he goes and he has like bandages and a few, not a ton of chemical type stuff. Inquisition cities tend to have far less of that for fairly obvious reasons. It's easy to find witches. And going through basically some very minor painkillers, but other than that, like soaps and bandages and everything very Vaticine approved.
Very Vaticine approved. Aye, thank you. Have a good one. If you have anyone else that you might be suggesting in regards to the keeping of such a bundle.
I mean, this close to the ocean, they won't last long. I'll just say, you might want to press them in a book. They'll be gone before long if you don't do something preserving like that.
I'll find a way to preserve.
As long as they have.
Must have been cut fresh this morning.
I would seriously be curious about where. That's a fair gardener to be able to grow heather this far south.
I have got my own curiosities about it, but always best to be preserving a gift.
Agreed.
And she'll go and next off to the ribbon shop.
Mm-hmm.
And just doing her best to make sure she is seen and that money is being spent. Yeah, she'll buy a book to preserve this in.
You might not need to buy books.
I
know someone who has them, but we.
Yeah, she hasn't even finished one.
As you walk into the ribbon shop, you see Kara. She's standing there looking a little bit overwhelmed. She's got a couple of they don't own the shop, but you've gotten the impression that they might be like the mothers or grandmothers or those who do. And very, oh my dear, now if you're going to have all of these dresses, you obviously need some nice ribbons so that you can keep them in a nice bundle. You can't just toss them into a bag. And you get the impression your girl is being seriously upsold right now.
Musara's going to come up and just clear her throat.
Kara turns and it says, "Oh, mistress, you're back soon." And just excited and a bit surprised, the two old ladies' eyes go wide and they're like, "If we stay very still and do not say anything, maybe we won't be here."
Kara, my darling, can you dismiss them?
Oh, they were just helping me. I need to speak to, Lady Misaro right now. And they're both just like, and kind of pursed lips. They just sort of walk out quickly. They've been bothering me all morning.
They can be a bit, vulturous, as she says, just loud enough to make sure it carries. If you allow them to be.
Right, I didn't want to be rude, but something's happened. I don't know where Alejandro.
What's happened, my dear? Do you mean you don't know where Alejandro is?
He didn't listen very good. He pulled a few jobs, and we haven't seen him. He never came back 2 nights ago.
Okay. Do you know where he was pulling jobs? Actually, no, we shouldn't be talking about this here. We'll get you your ribbons. I need to be getting my ribbons myself. We're going to act very calm. When we get back to the inn,
okay,
we'll discuss.
Okay. Do you really wrap all your dresses in ribbon before you go somewhere? Okay.
There's a bit of ribbon for, and she kind of just like points out like at the waist or like just underneath the bust, perhaps a little bit at the sleeve.
She notices the heather at this point as she's kind of gesturing around, and she's like, "Oh, those are lovely. What are they? I've never seen them before."
It's something of my homeland.
They're beautiful. Okay.
Very high.
And so you're able to bundle her out. Cass, from your vantage point, you can see Two very irritated abuelas, but also embarrassed. That mix between, I haven't decided yet whether I'm more ashamed of myself or angry that I got caught. I'll get back to you. And they just sort of march off. And then out comes Mez and Kara.
As they were walking past, like, just hearing the word shame, I kind of am going to assume what happened down there. Que vergüenza! And then just...
All right, as you are coming out and heading back to the inn, Smoke was staying on the ship.
The one thing I would try to do, and it might encourage a risk, but I could wait till after the boys, would be seeing if there's a small bit of cargo that needs transported somewhere, potentially, because that would be a good cover when we have to leave dock again.
Oh yeah, there is so much stuff being traded on the docks right now, and you have like random purse trades is just something that your ship doesn't have a purser, but the quartermaster often steps into that role when there isn't one. And when you mention it to Jonathan, he's like, "Oh, I mean, it's a few boxes of rum just right over there." He goes over and buys them and brings them on board.
There's plenty of places up and down the coast we can sell that at, so it just gives us something to do.
So, Kristoff and Juniper, were you heading to the inn first, or Kristoff, were you just heading straight out of town?
I was going to get my job started early. I was going to head back to the Beso de Serena, but to set the stage for what I want to do, I'm going to try to get somebody to suspect me of whatever, if they are watching. And I figured the easiest way to get caught is for me to legitimately try to sneak somewhere.
Okay. So where are you sneaking?
Oh, I'm just going to head back to the inn, but I'm going to do it as if I were trying to not be seen. Yeah, which I'm bad at. So going down whatever back alleys and anything, and I
being extra shady, constantly looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, because basically I'm terrible at that. So I figure if I legitimately try my hardest, it will just look like I'm bad at it.
Who would you say you are mimicking right now, and failing?
Mimicking probably no one other. Maybe Cass with kind of the trying to just like, oh, no Smoke actually. I totally belong here. There is nothing suspicious about me being here whatsoever.
Hello, fellow citizen, law-abiding citizen. How are you doing on this evening?
Hello.
I'm looking for the black market. Has anyone seen that?
Fellow humans, human fellas.
And so with that, you walk. You definitely have people looking at you like, is he drinking?
Do you want me to roll to see how bad how well I do?
Sure. I'm going to act this like because you were putting on a performance. Let's go with panache.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to put on a performance. I want to legitimately try to sneak to the inn.
Okay. Finesse and hide? Yeah, finesse and hide. With a die for flair.
0 raises.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
That was D10.
Yeah, those were D10s. Yep. It adds up to 9 with all 3 dice.
You take you know what? You get to the end of the dock. Like, you are not even on dry land yet. And all of a sudden you are surrounded by Inquisition soldiers. Inquisition guards, because they're all looking at you because everyone clocked, someone is up to something. They are on some form of alert. And so they all say, aha, someone up to something. And you recognize one of the ones that worked with you when you were helping out with the ghoul infestation. And he's like, "Oh, sir, the Inquisitor is going to want to talk to you." And with that, we are going to go for a quick break. We're going to take 10 minutes, and we will see you back here. Have a good one. And welcome back. So, let's see. Kristoff is currently surrounded by Inquisition guards, and they have said the Inquisitor needs to speak to you as soon as possible.
There's more trouble, is there?
Potentially. We're not quite sure what it is. We're wondering if maybe you would recognize it.
When they say the Inquisitor, would I know who that is, or would it...
Based on recent conversations, you're pretty sure they're talking about Cass's dad.
I guess lead the way, or...
Right.
I don't think I've been there before.
They arrange and they start moving you, and you've moved with guards before. You are not under guard. They're walking as if they're escorting you. This is more like a police escort than you being under lock and key. And so you are certainly People are paying attention now. The Inquisition is making sure you're getting where you're going in a hurry with no one getting in your way.
This plan has backfired horribly.
So as you are headed up that way, Juniper, you come out because presumably you were going to hook up with the three, and you watch as all of a sudden Kristoff doing something you don't even know what he was doing, like, and then all of a sudden the Inquisition surrounds him and then walks off.
Shit. Fuck. Am I supposed to?
Would I have seen that from like the deck? Like I'd be on the ship.
Yeah,
watching.
if you were paying attention, you would have seen the Inquisition. You would have seen the most preposterous sneaking you've ever seen, and then.
Jonathan, I might have to go ashore in a bit. I'm gonna wait for a bit though.
I come.
Oh fuck! God, fuck! And he's gonna. Probably not a good idea. Am I stupid? I'm stupid.
I mean, looking, you can see he's like, they didn't shackle him. They're
Right.
not like doing the walk in front, walk behind, make sure he goes where they want him to go. He seems to be going with them
Freely?
of his own free will.
Okay, I'm gonna let him go off then. I think he got it. He's a big boy.
Quite literally, yes.
yeah, very great. Well, Juniper's just gonna continue what he's gonna do. He's gonna go and retrieve his boys.
All right.
See what they're up to. Yeah.
So this has been a little bit after. Oh, and what is Smoke doing after seeing all of that happen?
I'll ask on deck because there's going to be people that heard him say, "Oh, the Inquisitor needs to see you," and just kind of like pass a few coins to see who heard it.
So it was away from the boat itself, but like some folks, yeah, right. Some of the harbor boys were like, "Oh yeah, he was acting sketchy as fuck," and then they asked him to come with them, and he just kind of went off. Didn't look like he was under arrest. I thought for sure he was going to be.
Understood. I'll go.
Martin thought he was going to get the snot beat out of him, but he lost a few silver on that one.
Yeah, don't bet against someone with a giant sword. In any case, I'm going to head over to base La Serena and just check in, go sit by the fire and read my book for just a tiny bit.
All right.
Wait.
So magically, the timing works out that the four of you all who are going to the base of Serena arrive at basically the same time, with Kara almost vibrating. Like she's been trying so hard. Like she's been told, pay attention to the boys. You're in charge. Be firm. And in one night, she lost one of them. And then apparently she was getting built by some kindly old grandmothers. And so she doesn't feel like she's done very well with her first couple of nights of freedom. And wants to explain it all to Mez, but she said we can't talk about that now. And so she's like very, very nervous as you all come into the base. So Edmundo looks up and sees Juniper and goes, "Whiskey, rum."
No, I'm good, man. Thank you, though. Water, actually. I know. It's been one of those days. Just water.
Are you okay? Is this like a? Okay.
Actually, do we have tea?
Yes. I'll brew some up.
A serving lady legitimately dropped a cup.
With honey.
Who are you and what have you done? And so they get started getting some tea together.
I'll go. Do I see her like vibrating. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Kara is clearly not frightened, but nervous, anxious.
You know, I can't talk because my poker face is a little trash. But are you okay?
Well, I am. I think. Get nervous look to Masara.
You're fine, darling.
I don't know where Alejandro is.
You say what now?
Alejandro's missing. He was working in one of the nicer sections of town, and then 2 nights ago he didn't come back, and we didn't see him all day yesterday. And she looks over, and Roberto and Fernando are kind of coming down the stairs, and they're looking and they look tired, like they were out last night.
They went to the nice part of town. Why would he do that? The guards are very bored up there.
He said it's where the better marks were that he could.
Yeah. It's also where I told him not to go. Okay.
Are we to be assuming that he's been caught?
Oh.
Well,
out of the 3, he's not the sneakiest. So, yes.
Well, that's the thing. I went by to check with the guards. I said he was my cousin, and a bit of a drunk, and no one like him. No, the guards don't have him.
Guards don't have him. Okay.
Kara, have you checked with the Inquisitors?
The Inquisitors have been very nervous about something lately. They've been checking houses. They've been checking pouches. Bothering the ships a lot more than usual. They've even come in here a few times. But no mention of him. But I'll admit I haven't really asked.
So Juniper's been very careful of showing his magic out in public, especially because of the Inquisitor thing. Has the kids seen him use it? No.
Other than when you appeared near them, but they didn't even see you appear. You were. They turned and you were there, so they are not aware of your magic.
Okay. Oh shit.
Cass is gonna look at Juniper and then just lean in close so Kara doesn't overhear a little bit, and she'll just be like, "You didn't leave any evidence behind, blood or anything, when we were at my house, did you?"
No, I never do.
And you remember, you saw the blood, but it coalesced and it did not leave
a drop or nothing. I mean, if I did, I would be able to tell where it is. Which is it's a weird thing. I can tell where every single drop of my essence is everywhere. Wait. And he'll pull up his sleeve, because I definitely gave them coins and things, little tiny things with my blood on it. Would I be able to track where he is if I pull up a sleeve?
You have a general direction in your head of which way to go to find him, and the closer you get, the more precise it'll get. Right now, he's due north.
Well, I know that he's north. So.
Northeast.
I can tell that he's northeast, but I don't know. Is that? And he'll just slowly turn to Cass.
Could someone have seen you do it that you weren't aware of?
Oh, pretty sure that no one has seen me do it except you and Kristoff. That's it.
How discreet were you when you did it at my house?
Very much so.
The area where he teleported in the garden, is that visible to any of the other houses?
It's pretty shielded, and
here's the thing. Why now? Do you not think they'd be checking for the crown?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not think that they might be assuming But the only way to get in and out of that cart...
Did you leave any blood in the cart?
He just kind of like look up. He's like, now, look.
Right. So?
Well, you know, it's shit. No, that crown is weird. Okay, that thing is weird.
Okay. I know I didn't want to have to go home if I don't need to, but I will if it means finding out where Alejandro is.
Here's the other thing. Our lot has been gone the past few days.
Right. Fuck.
We were out on a training mission for the new crew. That's why we didn't stop at any ports. We were just out sailing.
Aye.
Turned around and came back for resupply.
Now here's my question though, Smoke. We were able to see the caravan from the ocean. What's to say they didn't see us from land?
We were set up separately.
But
Like
on our way, because I spotted them from the ship on land.
True. If they were paying attention. I'm going to go back to the ship. I know that there's spare sails. And maybe you go and change one of the sails up so that it looks just a little bit different before anybody starts to think and notice.
You and I need to be coming back into town proper.
Me?
Aye.
Okay.
It was a fun sailing trip, right?
It was a fun sailing trip.
Where did we go exactly to train?
We'd have to say we were somewhere close to wherever our ship was spotted, so we could have been potentially spotted, so that way we have plausible deniability.
If they know that Kristoff was there, if they were able to get his face and his description. It could be that we saw the wreck and came in because of the wreck, but otherwise stayed out.
We could have seen there was all the zombies.
What we need to be doing is going to your house and making an official report on what we saw. Say we came back as quick as we could.
We were on our way to San Teodoro, but came back when we saw what we saw.
All right. We need to be changing, and we need to be going.
Okay.
June? Can you stay silent?
Yes.
Can you stay out of sight?
Yes.
Follow behind in case he needs a quick out, aye?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
At the very least, we can see if there's negotiating to be done, or finding him. But if you get him out that way, we need to recognize that he needs to leave the city.
Yeah. Probably me too.
Well, you think?
Yeah. No. Look here. All right? We can talk later. I'm
all right. Let's get going.
We're going to go change on the ship.
While all of that is happening, Kristoff, on a very quick march up to a house that you have not visited before, but I'd say you have a rough area because, like I said, you were working with Inquisition to help with the ghouls. He never brought you to the house, but the Paulo de Marquez, Inquisitor of San Juan, meets you at the gates of his house and steps forward and shakes your hand. Got a helmet?
Give him a deep nod, not quite sure what the protocol is, and Inquisitor.
A few of the guards mark that and are like, Paolo, if he noticed, just goes right over it, and he's like, so glad we found you. Is Lady Mazzara back as well?
Yeah, she went on to shore before I did.
All right.
Probably back at the inn that she's, or probably back at the inn if I had to make a guess, or shopping.
To the best of my knowledge, this is not going to be in your expertise, but at this point I'm kind of grasping at straws. There have been a number of break-ins around town, thievery, in several of the more elaborate homes, the better set up places, and there's something in common with each of them. There has been sometimes just a little, sometimes a lot of blood spilled in the locations. As far as we can tell, no murders, none of the members in the home harmed at all, various items taken, but the blood is consistent, and we're wondering if that's anything you might have run into in your work in Ison.
What you're asking me is if I think this would be some of that Montaigne Blood Witch stuff.
Well, that's obviously an option, but I don't have any Montagnans around to ask, so I was wondering if it was something closer to your home.
Oh. Sure, I don't need to tell you that those that do foul in Ison have done it with all sorts of fluid and flesh. But given the fact that the dead aren't walking through those sites, chances are it's not any of the organizations from my homeland. But if you want, I don't mind taking a look at the sites, see if I can... Being an Ison, you pick up on a lot of things, even things that aren't directly related to our unique situation.
All right.
If you don't mind, I can take a look.
Well, then come with me. And he turns and starts walking towards his home. He
is your home, isn't it, Inquisitor?
Yes, it is. And he walks in, and he opens the door, and he takes you into kind of a nice hall-type space. And kind of a greeting area, not enough to throw a ball in, but you could have a decent party. And foyer, is that what I'm being told? Okay, so a nice foyer set up, and he leads forward, and he's like, we had... some decorative swords that were kept here, gifts from various nobles. They looked nice. They weren't much good for fighting, but could catch a pretty penny on the market. And then this, and he gestures to the floor, and on the wood, you can see a stain of blood, significant cut. A wound that bled a deal before it stopped, but weirdly all contained to one place with no sign of dripping off in any direction.
Does this actually look like it's blood magic work? Because that sounds a little messier than usual.
You're looking it over, and to my knowledge, all you know of blood magic is what you've seen Juniper do.
But it usually kind of self-cleans.
Yeah. This does not look like what you've seen Junie do in the past. This is messy. Juniper's very good at what he does. This is messy.
Well, did somebody... You said you didn't find anybody hurt, no bodies, no murders?
Paolo raises his hand and kind of looks around like he's worried someone might be listening. He's like, my daughter, Lucrezia, was she with you all when you left?
Give him a nod. Yeah.
And he has a moment of relief. We believed that she had left. She did leave a note, but there had not been explicit conversation before you all went. And in all of the other houses, everyone is accounted for. But she was missing and we weren't completely sure. So...
She came ashore along with Masara.
All right. Very good to know.
I would not have said Masara. I would have used her title.
Okay. So yes, no victims that we are aware of. And I've sent my people asking around, no new missing in the poor quarters, and given the recent ghoul scare, they would be telling us.
Well, as I said, blood magic isn't my specialty, but I can tell you two things. Blood magic uses up the blood that the magic does. If there were blood magic, there'd be no sign of it because there wouldn't still be blood. Unless you had someone sloppy. Something like this happens when somebody gets hurt. If nobody broke in here to see somebody doing something and hurt the intruder, there shouldn't be this much blood.
No sign of force entry in any of the locations. No. Yeah, Montanian blood magic seems to be the most likely culprit, but again, portiers don't just stand around bleeding.
I don't presume to please keep in mind as I say this that my expertise is as a soldier, and that is my background. So when I say this, no disrespect intended, Inquisitor. This looks like somebody trying to fool you. And I don't mean to insult that you have not perhaps picked up on that, but this looks like what somebody would do if they wanted to make it look like blood magic, but didn't know how it worked.
That is definitely a possibility, though. Then they're very talented thieves.
Or they had access. I'm assuming that there's somebody within your inner circle that... I ain't going to ask why this is as big of a deal as it is, because I know it isn't about a couple of decorative swords, and I don't want to know. I assume you
the houses that it's happened to. Mine is arguably the least politically important of the group.
Figured the head inquisitor would be a little bit more politically important.
In other cities, he might be. I focus on my job.
I respect that. Well, this looks like somebody trying to set a scene who doesn't quite know what the person they're trying to make it look like does. Again, I'm no expert in blood magic, but I've heard enough stories. They're cleaner than this.
Indeed. Well, thank you for your expertise. If you could ask, next time you see Lady Masara, if she could send my daughter along as quickly as possible. There's some people who want to see her, and she's not in any trouble or anything. We'd like to see her. It's been a nervous couple of days.
Oh, let my liege lady know. Pass along the message.
And actually, as you and he are starting to kind of disengage. The group that was heading there is walking up the path, and you all see there's a hint of like there's someone sitting at a window, and all of a sudden the curtains kind of rustle in an upstairs window, and then all of a sudden the front door is thrown open, and out runs Magdalena de Marquez in a full-on sprint towards
Cass,
the
really
party.
quick. I apologize for anything I'm about to say.
Okay.
And she is just going and heading like beeline to Cass.
Gonna step aside and allow that to happen.
And she just runs up and full mama bear tackles Cass. Like has her up. Your mom is not a tiny woman. She's not particularly. This is strength you didn't know she had. As all of a sudden she goes, Lucrezia, oh, prophets, thank you, oh, prophets, thank you. We were so worried. I left
you alone. I was only gone for a couple days.
I know you did. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't. The last thing I said to you. Oh, prophets, I'm so sorry.
Ma'am?
Yes.
I'd like to apologize. I hadn't realized that she hadn't told you proper when I was taking her out.
No, it's fine. She left a note, and it was fine. And I was being
It's
terrible.
not fine.
I'm sorry.
To be making you worry like this is not fine.
This isn't. I wasn't worried because she was gone. Cass, something happened. I'm sorry, Lucrezia, something happened.
How'd you know?
Lucrezia, something terrible happened. Everyone's fine. We just didn't know about you. Someone broke into the house and stole some of those stupid swords.
Shall we be going in to have tea? I believe a bit of spot tea, all of that, help you take a breath.
She looks around and she stares at one neighbor's house and says, "You put your nose back in your windows, or I will swear there will be Inquisition soldiers who will find something in yours."
Inside?
Windows closed.
Inside.
And she has got like an arm lock on Cass's arm, and it's full on scared. Like you can feel the intensity is starting to go down as okay, now she has seen you, she has touched you, you are alive, but
getting shepherded inside by the Irish girl.
Mm-hmm. You walk in and Paolo glances over at Kristoff and goes, "Well, I suppose I will not need that service, but thank you."
We see the...
Lady Lucrezia. Lady Marquez, your father's looking for you.
I gathered... Let me go. And I guess I see the blood and everything?
Yeah, they take you into the foyer and see the blood on the floor and the missing, stupid decorative swords.
They were stupid. They're useless. But she's just looking around confused because she has seen Juniper do blood magic. But she doesn't know about the blood magic part yet. But all she's seeing is a blood stain on the floor. Did you kill him?
No one was found. Again,
That is
no sign of break-in.
Lot of blood for someone not to be found.
No trails. And Paolo kind of steps in and starts kind of scratching his wife's back, and she starts again calming down, but is kind of stroking Cass's back and hair, and not even in a my baby's okay.
She's more reassuring herself than me.
Yeah. And Paolo is just gives basically the same report that he did with Kristoff. They also hit the Lopez home, the governor's mansion, a couple other merchants. Some theft from each location. valuable, but no real pattern to it. And then not always this much blood. This was one of the bloodier scenes, but
With my knowledge, like from the Vagos and everything, could I determine a pattern?
let's see. The human mind is great at finding patterns. Whether or not it's actually there is something else. Let's look for your wits, and I'm going to say scholarship, unless you want to try to talk me into something else.
Could I argue for notice, since I've been investigating, like I had to investigate like the Lopez's and everything for the...
Notice is more seeing things. You're not seeing these sites.
Okay, I'll do it. Fine, I'll take it.
And we're going to say 4 possible patterns you might notice in all of this, and one of them might be the real one.
2 raises.
2 raises. Okay. Every location involved would be an impressive name in the city. Like, none of them are... These are all important, connected people. They're all also positions in the city that would give an impression of wealth. Your father is an outlier among city inquisitors in that he's well-to-do, but it's mostly the family fortune, and so so this might have been a miss. You're not sure. There's political clout and wealth.
Has anyone been arrested in the past few days? Anything?
Not outside of the usual. We asked the guards, just the usual. Drunkenness and things like that. No, a pickpocket, we think, but let him go almost right away.
You said a pickpocket. Had you had the chance to speak with him, see if he knew of anything of the sort coming up?
No, it was an old man and was hungry, so we got him some food.
Aye, best way to go about these things.
Yeah, honestly, your man-at-arms there, we know he's got a good head on his shoulders, so I was more hoping he'd see something that I'd missed. He did have the interesting idea that this could just be an attempt to point a finger at blood magic, but to what purpose, I'm not quite sure.
Of any of the items taken, was there anything that seemed outside of the usual from the rest?
And he pulls out a notebook and glances over his notes, and he's like, well...
100% being nosy and looking too.
All were decorative items. Looked very impressive. There were probably more expensive things in the room, but they picked the thing that looked the most expensive. Which is just wrong.
Maybe the swords from ours?
I mean, melt down the gold, pry off the gems. Those swords will do well for you, but if you're that good at penetrating an estate like this, and he gestures to a few scrolls that he has, some tomes on the wall, some other things that Cass would certainly know would be far more expensive. Some things that, decorative swords was not the best grab in this room, but they did immediately look the most impressive.
Pappy, could it have been someone who has access to the house?
I mean, that's always a possibility, but our staff is pretty well trusted. By the way, brace yourself when Imelda sees you.
Imelda?
Yeah, she was almost more inconsolable than your mother.
Who's Imelda?
one of the
the little girl. Oh, yeah.
and would have
Lopez daughters.
Yeah.
no, not the Lopez daughter.
Not the Lopez daughters?
One of the ones who helped you get ready when
Oh.
and kind of nurse vibes. Has
Nurse
known
vibes.
you since you were little.
Oh, crap. Okay. Sorry for worrying everyone.
It's not your fault. And at this point, Magdalena, it's like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault. You would have said something. Except I was crazy that day. I was just crazy, and I'm sorry.
Calm down, por favor, please.
Right.
Promise you haven't seen crazy till you've met my mother.
Cass is just going to look at Misara, just like, I think maybe I should stay for a little bit.
I apologize for taking her away. We were trying to get our sea legs for any future voyages.
Oh, we saw the thing.
Kristoff, would you mind telling him about what we saw on the beach when we were out practicing?
That
Kristoff was not there for the discussion.
catches me a little off guard.
That's why I was trying to sneakily
Remember
what we saw when we were practicing.
Remember the those scary things.
The scary things.
What you helped the Inquisition soldiers with.
You mean the ghouls?
Eso.
We stayed on the ship and did not get a good look.
The ghouls on the beach.
Aye.
And at that, Paolo kind of looks up and goes, "Where? What beach?"
It was.
You're able to give it.
Wasn't here, was she?
Yeah.
We were on our way. We were sailing past San Teodoro, and it was a beach by there, I think.
And he kind of walks over, looks at his map, and goes, "Damn. Thank you for telling me. I will have my men double their patrols to be sure.
Aye.
Were the bodies disposed of?"
Just nod.
Right. Of course, you would have handled that. Sorry, I'm on edge. I will see to it that some manpower gets sent there and well enforced in case there's any more stragglers. Thank you for letting me know. In fact, I should probably get to that now.
Aye.
Magdalena, she's fine. Why don't you go pour yourself a drink. I'll be with you later.
I'll go make you something to drink too, Papi, and I'll bring it up to your office.
I'm actually going to have to head into the fort to handle this, but thank you very much, Lucrezia. And he walks over and he puts a hand on your shoulder and he's like, "I don't know what is happening here, but I know they couldn't have handled you." And then he walks out.
Well, leave you to making drinks, Kristoff. On our way, please.
As you command.
Juniper would have been following you guys, right?
Outside of the house.
He would have making his way to try and find Kristoff, and I'm pretty sure he has a mark on him too at this point. And then when he realized where he was, he would go, "I'm gonna wait a couple blocks back." I'm just waiting.
You wait, and you kind of you're trying to get to where you can see the house and not be obvious, but can move and react quick. And so you're up against a building of just another one of these kind of. It's a wealthy neighborhood that you're in, and you're there, and you're kind of looking and watching, being like, "What is this?" And then you have this weird sense of disorientation come over you. And for a second, you just think, I was sick. I was throwing up. I didn't sleep well. I'm up. I'm tired. But then you recognize the last time you felt this was the last time you ported somewhere with someone else who was porting separately from you. Someone is using port magic in your vicinity.
I wish I could like put the get you face up like
Editing. That's what editing's for.
oh. He's just kind of.
The more you know.
He's immediately looking for like vantage points that he would use, and just kind of looking around because it was very close. The feeling,
Not like right on top of you, but
but near.
nearby. And
Oh,
you can't, it's not a thing you could like point at, but with the vantage point you have, there's only so many directions it could be coming from.
I'm gonna be curious. I'm well in going into my hubris, and I'm going to fucking look for that.
All right.
Quietly.
So, let's go for wits and either wits and notice or wits and scholarship. And so it's either between you just trying to see if you can spot them or if you can just try to suss out, make a best remembering from your own porting trips where you might have gone. Like, yeah, if it was me porting here.
Okay. You said wits and scholarship or wits and something else.
Mm-hmm.
Wits and
So,
notice.
scholarship or notice?
Okay, it's the same for either one, so I'm just gonna do scholarship.
All right. You're trying to suss it out.
Okay. One raise with 2 dice left over.
All right. Want to sell them?
Sure, I'll sell both.
I'll
buy
one. I'll buy
You-
one.
You'll buy one. Okay.
One hero.
So I now have 2 hero points.
All right. So, as you're looking it out, and you're like, okay, obviously you didn't see anyone just appear, so you rule out the places where you were looking. You have about how farther away, and you turn around. They almost have to be in the house that you're right next to.
Oh boy. Is there any way to get in the house without being noticed? Is this a rich? I know I'm in like the rich district, so
It's not the nicest house in the neighborhood, but it's pretty nice.
so I'm assuming there is the normal security of that rich people would have, like a guard.
Yeah, the houses here are not like, they're not palaces. Some might have staff. Armed guards tend to be rare. But the street is fairly well patrolled. Like, there's no guard like right in front of you right now, but there are, like, occasionally you'll hear it's still pretty early, so it's 11 o'clock and all is well, and stuff like that. This is guards speak to each other.
Okay. Shit. Fuck it. He's gonna
And it's let's call it a 3-story house.
bet. So I'm gonna spend a hero point to use second story work, but I'm not gonna use blood magic. I'm going to do it the normal person way. He starts to parkour and climb up to the 3rd floor.
Yeah, you find the path, and you're just able to move around and jump, and that assures you don't get seen, right? The second story work is just, so no problem at all. You kind of wish that some of the party was here to see you do this. Like, they've all seen you do the blood like, not many have seen you actually, like, boom, 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 and you leap up, and you're up, and then you find a cracked window, and you open, and you step in, and you hear Montagnan voices.
Oh shit. Do I see them?
No, they're not. They're not in the room you're in. The voices seem to be coming out from the hallway.
Hallway. I need to see them. Shit. I'm a thief. I feel like I would know how to get people who are not supposed to be in a house to get into a certain room. So I'm going to. Is there a window that leads to the hallway?
You're not 100% sure about the interior layout of the house.
Yeah.
But you would guess, based on the room you're in, that if you went out and kind of scuttled along the wall for a bit, you could find a window that would put you in a hallway, but you wouldn't know exactly where you're going just yet.
Okay. I'm going to kind of lean down to where the front of the door is. I'm going to take out my crossbow, and anything that makes a loud noise on that door, I'm going to shoot the crossbow at it.
All right.
So that way they hear it. I want to see panic.
Okay. So you're firing your crossbow inside to create a noise.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
So that they react to that. But I'm trying to like shoot it in an area where like it wouldn't be easily found if it was. Because
Okay, so you're like shooting into a shed. You just want the noise. You don't want it to be immediately obvious what caused the noise.
Noise,
Okay.
yeah, essentially.
So you're peeking out into the hallway. You're kind of let's first see how sneaky you are.
Okay.
Let's go for your finesse and your hide.
Okay. Do. All right, and okay. Oh shit. 2 raises.
2 raises.
I used all 3 of the dice.
On 2 raises, you're moving around. You're getting a look around. You're trying to see what's happening, and you reach out your hand, and you're not used yet to Castilian houses. And so you go and you're placing your hand on the wall, and it brushes against one of the Vaticine icons that was on the wall, and it shakes, and it falls, and there's you've now made the noise, and without the need for the crossbow, and downstairs you hear him. Did you hear that? Do they have a dog? Why do so many Castilians have dogs?
And I'm just gonna.
Okay. Let's go ahead for panache and convince them that they heard a cat and not a dog.
This would be the dumbest shit.
I would call it 3 chances, three risks of. That's definitely a person saying meow.
Why am I good at this stuff? This is so fucking stupid. I should not have this. I don't like myself right now. Exactly 3 raises. I used all my dice though. This is
all
dumb. Right. I rolled 2 10s. This is stupid.
All right, so you. Oh, cat. Yeah, cats are always knocking stuff around, but one of the voices goes, "No, you idiots. Man, it came from that way." And 3 men in not particularly nice looking clothing walk around, and they look and they see you and they go, "Who are you?"
Now, the question is, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's him.
Right.
and they rush you.
Oh fuck no! I'm out.
All right, so you're running away.
I'm gonna dive back through that window, and if is it who I think it is?
You do not recognize any of the faces, but they seem to kind of recognize a description of you, maybe like based on the look, like they weren't sure. And then when you spoke, they were like, "Oh!" And as you see them, one of them has a bad cut on his arm. You do see that. One of the things in your training as a portier was to do precisely the right amount of damage. The blood you needed and no more. You don't know what sort of gait this guy would have needed to have a wound that bad on his arm.
But again, I don't run.
All right.
But I will kind of put my hand up like, hey,
You got something to say? Say it.
Well, my question is, am I in trouble? I don't know you, and I haven't done anything. But you're obviously not supposed to be in this house, and neither am I. So how about we leave together and we talk? Or I can just run out of that window. I know for a fact none of you can catch me. And maybe I'll alert guards that there were people here. Maybe I don't.
You've been working this neighborhood too?
Yeah, you're not getting the answer out of me on that one, my friend. Or are we friends? Who are you? You're not...
We are working, I suppose we are carteristas. We haven't seen you. Don't think you've shown up to any of the meetings.
No.
You're not what we expected. Are you from Montaigne?
You know, saying that here can get someone killed very fast. So I'm going to go with the latter. I can tell that you know who I might be. So who do you think I might be?
Can I see your arm?
Fuck no.
It's him. There's good money for you, friend.
Oh, is it? Noted.
Go.
And now I will run. Yeah. Now I'm going to run.
As you turn, one of them throws a small gold piece. It bounces against the window that you're running to, and then suddenly he's there.
Oh, shit. I'm going to... Boy, am I going to punch him the hardest I've ever punched anybody. Actually, right. I'm going to headbutt him. He has pissed me off.
We are in a bit of a fight. 1-on-3. Go ahead and roll your brawl in strength.
Okay. I'm taking a risk by hitting him. I'm taking a risk by hitting him, so I get to add an extra die to that.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck. Brian. Good old Brian and strength.
Oh, you actually get to add 2.
2?
An additional 2 to whatever math you had done. This guy has 2 dramatic wounds on him.
Ah, okay, so just an additional, 2 points counted on to the rest?
No, 2 additional dice to your pool.
Ah. I gotta get more dice. Hold on. That's a lot of dice. For me, that would be Brawn and you said Brawn and Brawl.
Brawn and Brawl.
So that would be 3 already, and then I get 1 more dice because of my risk, and then I get 2 more. Oh boy, this poor guy. I feel like I'm about to rip. I have to math. Uno momento. And then shit, math. And then so 4 raises with 1 die left over. I am not giving that to you. Don't ask.
You're definitely going first.
Yeah. I will use 2 of those to fucking. Boy, am I taking him out through that window.
You're literally tackling him through the window?
Yes.
Right.
I'm going to pick him up and take him with me out the window.
He is unable to stop you, and you are both going down. Now go ahead. This is an entirely new risk. This is going to be your finesse, and I'm going to call it your athletics to land well.
Okay. That is also a big pull for me. Holy shit. Okay, so
Land on him.
When it comes to a risk, do I add extra dice for that? Or do I get a hero point?
First time in the scene, so you get to add flair.
Okay.
But it's not against him. This is against. So you have a risk. You're falling down. You have. I'm going to say a risk of four wounds on this because you are on the 3rd story.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna up that again. This is 5. This is a chance of a dramatic wound on this fall.
Shit.
Even if he uses the dude for cushioning?
I will spend my hero point to give you 3 extra dice.
I love you. Thank you. God in heaven. And then that. And that 4 raises again with 1 left over.
4 raises. All right. So you only take the 1 wound, and you manage to fall, and you fall basically on top of him, and you're able to use him to cushion the blow as you go down. You smash into the ground, and he's just underneath you. Like,
and I'll go, fuck you.
And there is some noise, and I was like, "Oi, what was that?" Not "Oi, what was that?" This is Castille Dan. Anyway, in a Castilian accent, so a guard yells, "Who goes there?" Basically, and you can hear people are coming your way.
Oh, I am gone.
Including from the house. Those of you who were leaving the house, walk out, and you watch as Juniper comes through a 3rd-story window on top of a guy, and they both just crash into the ground. Juniper seems to get up relatively unfazed. This other guy is not doing well. Looks pretty beat up just from the fall and has some bad lacerations.
I am running. Very much so Aladdin style. Like, I am fucking gone.
Senor de Marquez.
Yeah, I was about to ask my dad.
Paolo comes to the door.
I think we might have found at least one of them. The other one took off running in that direction.
Paolo runs out, sword drawn, and comes up and looks up at the house, yells for the guards to surround and isolate the house. Well, now. This is interesting. You say the other one ran off that way?
Aye.
All right. Well, we've got one of them anyway, and he hoists him up and is like, when you wake up, you are not going to enjoy the chat we're about to have. To the fortress guards, Lady Masara, and all of your people, again, thank you.
Of course.
And they start dragging him off.
We should be getting back now.
back at the ship, or at the Smoke stayed at the. Did she go back to the ship, or did she stay at the inn?
When they dispersed that way, I went back to the ship to prepare the ship, because if that goes south, we need to go.
Mm-hmm. So you're just back on your ship. You're looking over stuff, and again, you got that weird feeling like there's eyes on you.
I would like to, considering it's such a touchy night, I think I will tempt the shark.
All right.
So again, that minor, what it does is it makes it to where animated, alive things don't escape my notice.
You take the moment and you focus, and you feel as the sorcery emanates from that place on your skin, and just kind of spiders along you. It's almost like a weighted blanket being set down on you as the kind of just the pressure around you adjusts, and you're looking around, and you have an immediate feeling of everyone kind of in the area. And the dock's around noon. It's busy. There's a whole lot of life and stuff moving, and being involuntarily aware of all of them is a little bit overwhelming for a second. Like, you'd like to be like, okay, that person's not a threat. Now I go on to the next one. You can't. You're constantly aware of everyone, and you have a little bit of a moment of, okay. But then you catch, out of the corner of your eye, you look over and you see a hooded, shrouded figure, and the light comes at just the right time, and they seem to be wearing a sort of half mask. You're unable to make out any features, and the figure vanishes. And it's sort of half like a ceramic, covering one half of the face, and then suddenly disappears. A smaller figure, you would probably guess female, though the cloak was too enshrouding to be sure.
In my sea travels, would I have recognized any kind of cult or group or anything that would use something that particular?
This doesn't raise anything. If anything, it's surprising. Like, it's not the right kind of mask, but people don't just wear masks in Castille. So it looked maybe similar to their, like, masquerades are a fairly regular part of Vodachi society, and so it could be from Vodachi, but it didn't ring any immediate bells.
At that point, then was I on the ship, or was I on my way back to the ship?
That was on the ship after you'd been there for a little bit.
So I'm going to You said they disappear, like just disappear into the crowd?
Yeah, turned a corner down an alley.
Okay.
Nothing magical about the disappearance, just...
Yeah. I don't see an immediate threat, but I will definitely have Jonathan be on alert.
There's also nothing to immediately indicate that they were looking at you. It was just you had not been previously aware of them, and then suddenly you were aware of everything, and that weird image appeared.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jonathan, nobody's come on ship since while I was gone, correct?
No. Few souls came up and asked if we were hiring, and I didn't think we were, so I turned them away.
And the rum is all secure underneath?
Totally ready to go whenever you're ready.
I want to take a second and go to the cabin and just double check that nothing's been moved.
You walk in and you look around. Everything seems. What precautions would you have set to check if anything had been moved? Like, are you opening the compartment to see if it's still there, or was there like tape on the door or whatever the
I would have opened the compartment to see if it was still there, and like I said, I had put a couple of coins on the top to see if the coins were still, and I would do that with the door closed, so obviously nobody else would see.
So you open the compartment. The crown is still there. One thing you do notice is that you're not quite sure. You just sort of tossed the coins in, but Castilian gold has a crown side and a church side. So one side is a crown, one is a symbol of the Vatican faith, and all of the coins were crown side up.
Is that kind of like lucky pennies?
Not really. It's not. If there's some argument over which side is the lucky side, if it's the church side or the crown side, but all of the. And you didn't notice that when you toss them in. It's just a handful of coins, but they're all crown side up. But the crown is still there.
Yeah, I see you. I'm gonna get you home and off my ship. Close the door back up. I'm gonna also, before I close the door back up, just for curiosity's sake, I'm gonna flip one coin and close the door again.
All right. And this has only been like the info hasn't even been placed in the dead drop yet. I will say that in taking the time, just to be kind, that while you all were at the house, that at some point Cass did drop by her room and now knows which dead drop would be the right one for today.
Was that correct?
You were.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well then, I'm just gonna stay up on deck and keep an eye out for anything, waiting for Junie or anyone to come back.
All right. Juniper, you're running. Where are you running to?
You know, that's a very good question.
I mean, there's the ship, there's the inn. You still have a rough direction where Alejandro is.
I want to make sure I'm not being followed. First.
Glancing over your shoulder, do you stop your dead out sprint?
Once I get around to a really dark alley,
sure,
I will, and then I'm gonna check.
Once you lower your profile, like when you were dead at sprinting, people are like, "Where's he going in such a hurry?" But once you get out of that sprint, and you're walking, you don't feel like anyone's watching you.
Okay. Shit. Mad. Like just kind of under his breath. Well, he's gonna go back to the inn.
All right.
And then kind of look in the inn, and then go. Nope. And then he's gonna go find the ship, but he's going a very long, drawn-out way about it. That just in case.
Okay. So you're moving in and out of alleys, not taking the most direct path to the docks. And as you're moving around in this part of town, this is kind of the sketchy part of San Juan. San Juan doesn't have a ton of crime, but where they have crime, it's mostly here. And you're just sort of moving around, seeing stuff, looking, and you have a feeling, and it's not the port, it's not anything like that, just this weird itch in the back, like you're being watched. Looking around, checking over your shoulder, you can't see anything, but
shit. Oh, fuck. Well, I need to tell somebody. So, guess it's going to be Smoke.
And as you're kind of turning around, you walk, and ahead, you feel like you see a cloaked figure cross in front of you, but they don't seem to show any interest in you. It's noon in San Juan. It's hot. And they're wearing a full cloak.
Oh, hell no. Now, Took is going, that's some spooky shit. Don't do it. Juniper is going, interesting. I'm going to follow it. I know it's stupid, but I'm doing it.
So you go and you make the turn, and as you go into the alley, the figure is nowhere to be seen. But then you look down, and you see a couple of playing cards.
Playing cards? So
Yes, so you turn, you're looking down the alley, and as you look down, you see the Prophet and the Fool. Sitting basically on a crate on the side, and no sign of the figure. Now, to Juniper, these are just cards. Weird that cards would just be there.
Are they like rare cards? Valuable?
They're pretty, well painted, but not really worth anything outside of a complete set.
Okay, he'll pick them up, just kind of look at them, and then pocket them. Yeah,
You could pick them up pretty much anywhere. Yep.
Then he'll just head back to the ship.
All right. Everyone else walking back to wherever you were walking, were you going along for the interrogation of the fortress, or were you heading back to other places?
We are going back to the inn because we don't need to be there for an interrogation that might embroil us further in this particular subject.
All right. And so as you all head back to the inn...
I'm staying home because my family...
Yep. So Castille back with her family. Juniper kind of trying to find, eventually gets back to the inn, and there's this weird sense of what is happening, what is going on. Just weird instances. Everything feels off, feels wrong. But as you walk in, Kara walks up to Masara, helps her with her clothes and everything, gets settled. Edmundo brings some food and some drink. The boys are like, is there any sign of Alejandro?
He's not with the Inquisitors. We know that much. We're going to keep looking.
All right. Thank you. Where is... And then Juniper walks in.
He looks freaked out. Like, eyes are big. He's like breathing a little heavy. Like, I need to... Masara, can I borrow you up in the room for a moment? Just follow me.
Lead the way.
For the record, upon getting to the inn, I would have immediately and probably wordlessly just gone straight to my room.
Yep.
And up we go.
Yes. Once we get into the room, he starts to check every corner. He wants to know about every little rat hole, roaches, mice, lice.
There are some spots of blood in this room. You're pretty sure they're all from different things you were doing.
He's like checking objects, looking around. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, my dear.
I'm gonna drop the veil for like 20 seconds.
Do what you need.
I do not know where the fuck these people came from.
Hmm?
At all. No clue. But I'm not the only. You get my drift?
Well, considering I just turned one of them over to the Inquisitors. Hi.
Shit. I don't know if that was a perfect idea, because they may or may not mention that apparently I am wanted for a lot of money that I was not aware of.
Mm-hmm.
I've been keeping low. I have not been stealing anything big. I haven't been robbing people that, make sense. I don't understand what...
So, here's the part where I have to wonder why Cass's friends passed you over to her, and then she then passed you over to me.
Well, I don't know. They really should have killed me then. I was just wondering. I've been wondering for the past, I don't know, 13, 14 odd years or so. And then I got into another scuffle, as I do, and I lost, obviously.
As you do.
And first off, I win a lot, but specifically, anyway, and then they passed me over. I don't know why they would give me to Cass. And then now I'm learning a lot of things about Cass, that she wasn't even until this week actually a part of the Vagobundos. Yes, and now this I do not understand what is happening. I'm not royalty. I'm not someone who's missed. I've been poor majority of my life after my father disappeared when I was born, I guess. But I don't know.
Is there any reason they could be looking for your father?
I never met him.
Yeah, it's your mother. Did you know?
Yes, my mom,
Did she tell you any stories?
Fuck no. Otherwise, I would know about him. The only thing I have from him is this fucking ring and he just shows it on his finger.
Okay. Well, could it be possible that they're looking for him and finding you?
I don't understand why they would, honestly. I am...
Usually if someone is not telling you something, there's a reason for it. Was she trying to protect you?
Maybe. I haven't seen her in 14 years.
Well, might be nice if you wrote her a letter or something to that effect. Unless, there's another reason that you haven't seen her in that long.
I don't know where she is.
Right. No, I'm not going to make any assumptions. So they're coming after you. They found you. You've got a bounty on your head. The Inquisition saw you running from the scene where people were jumping out of windows.
That was when I threw someone out the window, yes.
Hi.
And
that particular someone was covered in wounds.
Yes.
And being taken to the fortress.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing is we need to be getting you out of here, or at least out of sight. Also, have you found anything about Alejandro yet?
I'm pretty sure I can find him. You haven't seen this yet. And he pulls up his sleeve, and there is... What is the best way I can describe it? Tattoos.
City
that are
planner layout.
Yeah, it's like a legit layout of the city tattooed on his arm. And you can see buildings and occasionally little things just moving on it. And he's like, I know this weirds you out. I'm sorry, just do me a favor and breathe deeply.
This shouldn't weird me out as much as it does. My sisters are trained, or one of them is... We don't need to talk about that.
Fucking what?
You see, they were taken by the druids to learn magics.
We can talk about this another time.
We have lots of things to be talking... There's a map on your arm that is moving.
I know. I put it there. I know this.
Okay, so first things first, we need to be finding Alejandro because the others are going to start worrying more and more.
Yes. Okay.
Cass has to be staying with the family. Kristoff might not entirely be pleased with me because I dragged him into Inquisition plotting a little.
Again. Wow. Poor Kristoff. We can find him pretty easily with this. We have to go to the northeast, which is where.
Can you do the hippity hop?
What the fuck are you the hippity hop? Are you talking about the port?
I haven't seen what it actually looks like.
I noticed that, but it's not a hippity hop. I don't just
You're
like a rabbit.
From one lake to another.
No. Okay. So I have to have a mark in a certain area, and then I bleed on it, and then I port to it. It's called walking. I can take one person with me.
All right. Well, can you be doing that to be getting us closer? Because I can't be seen. Because I'm now might be known in the city a little more. You might want to be taking. A smoke would be the only option that I could think of. Who might be able to be handling this?
Well, I think when we get into a fight, someone who is as recognizable as
there's a knock on the door.
Aye.
It opens, and Tara is there, and it's like, I was going out to pick up one of the orders that was ready, and there was a there was a message left for you at the dress shop.
Go ahead, my dear.
She hands you an envelope.
And would you see to it that Kristoff gets the medicines and the like that I ordered and a bit of food?
Of course. Right away.
Thank you, my dear.
She walks off.
I'm going to open this note message thing.
Just a card.
Mm-hmm.
Coins for the ferryman.
What does that entail? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means. It's you see travelers carrying it and the like.
Is she lying to me? Then
Scott.
She's not. Okay.
No idea. She's like, I might have seen this once or twice. Leon plays cards. It doesn't mean that I know what the hell is going on with it.
That's very true.
And with that, with a very confused party, we are going to draw this particular session of the Blades of Roses to a conclusion. We will hopefully see you all next week. Huge thanks, as always, to Squirrels of Darkness for hosting us. Thank you to our producer, Mootley, who has been handling so many things for us. May the bouncy rabbits be with you. And team.